Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run. That's right, we're going back to vanilla random weapons runs, because it was pointed out to me recently that somehow, during the 60 random weapon runs or so that I did, I managed to skip Mage, which is really too bad, because this is one of the most interesting classes for a random weapons run, and not having posted a video with it is really a downside. I could have sworn I had done one, but I couldn't find it when I looked, so it looks like I did in fact just skip this class. So let's do a Mage random run and see what weapon we get. We're going to skip Taser, because that's what I did for my class guide. And Mage is going to be really interesting, especially if we roll one of the weapons that doesn't scale with elemental damage, because there's a lot of weapons here that require you to think pretty differently about the game if you get them on the Mage, since we can't use ranged melee or engineering damage and have to rely on our elemental damage. Let's see what we get and what we can make work. Alright, we've got the Lightning Shiv, which is nice because it scales with elemental damage, so we can increase the damage significantly, and we can use the bounces to spread fire around, so we have that going for us. But does have the downside that our actual attack damage with our weapons is going to be very low. So this could be a little bit risky, depending on exactly how it plays out. It took me a second there because I was like, why do I have only 9 hit points? But of course we start with a snake, so that's why our max hit points are being reduced by 1 from the default of 10. When you're playing the Mage, I think that it is best to just grab elemental damage early, otherwise we're going to really struggle to kill things. So while normally luck or harvesting would be the pick here, I think the Mage really just wants to increase your elemental damage as much as possible. We'll lock the Lemonade here, and then roll, buy a Lightning Shiv, and then roll. No more Shiv, so we'll roll again and buy another one, and then we get to roll one more time, which is great. Unfortunately missed on another Shiv, but we will definitely take a Beanie. Movement speed is going to be very important for this character. We need to be attacking and spreading the Mage's fire around, but also not getting hit, and we won't be able to defend ourselves with our weapons very well, because the lightning shifts themselves are not going to be doing any damage. I was hoping to you know, get a fire proc and set that tree on fire. It would have made it easier. One of the best things that we could find for this character, of course, is going to be Baby Gecko, or just anything that lets us pick up more materials. Here we're just going to take more elemental damage because it scales really well. Roll and buy a Shiv. Roll and buy a Shiv. Didn't have enough materials to roll for another one, but 5 after 2 rounds is pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with this. With 2 good items locked as well. Want to pick up the materials that drop at the beginning of the wave because they're doubled from the ones we had stored from previous waves. Going to end up leaving a lot of materials on the ground, of course, because of the nature of this build. Here, I could just take the 2 armor. That is very useful for any melee build, so I think I'm just going to grab that. It's a level 2 upgrade, and we'll take the level 2 HP as well. That can help keep us alive a little more easily. We'll just buy these 2 items and then roll. Definitely going to buy another Shiv, and we'll definitely buy a metal detector as well. Getting that this early will be a big boost to our economy. We now have 9 elemental damage, which is awesome because of the way that Shivs work. Once we can level these to level 2, the projectiles will start to bounce back to the thing that we're actually attacking. So right now when we hit an enemy, it's only taking physical damage. It will never take the elemental damage, other than the fire that we might proc on it. But once we have level 2 lightning shivs, they get a second bounce, and so the second bounce can come back and hit the enemy we're actually fighting, which makes it much better at actually clearing enemies in melee with us, you know. I'm using Baldur's Gate terminology here, but clearing enemies that we're right near, which makes it much more difficult, or much less difficult for us to survive, because right now, an enemy that approaches us, we don't have a good way to deal with. I'm pretty happy with my upgrades so far, so I'm just going to grab Luck here, and then we will definitely take Ugly Tooth, but I'll start with the Metal Detector, and we'll grab the Boiling Water as well, just to make sure we're continuing to gain clear speed. Then I'm going to roll once. We're guaranteed to see a weapon in this shop, so it's good to pick up another Lightning Shiv. We're fairly likely to see a Lightning Shiv in this shop. Sharp Bullet is going to be great. That gives us piercing on our bouncing elemental shot, so that can spread the fire around. It'll also be nice if we pick up any like Pocket Factory or turrets or anything like that, which can also be used to spread the Scared Sausage fire. Tentacle, I think I will actually buy as well, so we're just going to lock this whole shop. It's not going to be amazing because most of our damage is going, or a lot of our damage is going to come from fire, but the projectiles on the Shivs can critically hit, and we have critical hit bonuses just from having the Shivs equipped, because they're also a precise weapon. So the Tentacle will be a reasonable amount of healing and increases the damage of our bounces reasonably well. I think it's efficient enough to lock there. It's not an incredible find for us or anything like that, but I think it is worth locking and buying. And of course, if we get a decent amount of crit chance, that opens us up to buy more tentacles for more healing, or later, even if we happen to find hunting trophy, that would be excellent. So for that reason, I'm actually just going to pick up the crit chance. I do want to start building dodge here as well, but I'd like to just get damage first, and then we will buy just more elemental damage. To maximize our clear speed, we're going to buy the Sharp Bullet, we'll buy the Tentacle. I will do one more reroll here to see if we can lock another Shiv, which we missed on, but that's okay. I do need some more percentage damage. That's normally very important for elemental fire builds, because that's one of the ways that you can increase your fire. The burning damage is with percent damage, and we currently have almost none. I also need to pick up some healing. We would like to use lifesteal for this build, probably, just because bouncing shots, even when they're triggered by melee, are very efficient with lifesteal. See if we can maybe kill the tree before the end of the wave. Nice. Here, I'm going to reroll, and just because it's a level 2 upgrade, I'll just pick up some regeneration. We'll probably want both regeneration and lifesteal later on. Incendiary Turret is fairly efficient for the Mage in general, even though it can't light things on fire with the Scared Sausage. The Scared Sausage increases its damage, and the Snake spreads its damage further. So even though you can't upgrade your engineering at all, the Incendiary Turret can still be a good purchase. On this build, though, we already have bouncing shots, so we're much less interested in things that help with wave clear. We need more like defenses and damage. So we're just going to reroll past that. Take the bag and the coffee, of course, and then roll again, and nothing here. Really need to improve my percentage damage. I've reduced that a lot with the Sharp Bullet and everything, and the metal detector, so that's a high priority for us going forward. Max HP would also be really nice. Having chosen to go for a no harvesting build, we're not getting as many levels or as much money as a harvesting build would, but we were able to make up for that by having a lot of early damage. But you can see that this game is playing out a little less cleanly than ones where we put a lot of points at harvesting early, just because harvesting smooths out your economy so much. Got some loot aliens here, which is great. Trying to hit them with... make sure they're always on fire and hit them with our attacks. Even though the attacks themselves don't do that much damage, it makes sure they're always burning, which will kill the loot aliens faster, and the shots can bounce back to them. This is great. We need max HP, so we'll take that. Attack speed is still good. Tree is awesome, so very happy there. I'm still not going to buy harvesting at this stage. I think it's too late to really get investing into that, but we'll take 10 luck here. A turret, just a level 1 turret, because that can apply the Scared Sausage Fire and use our elemental damage, we will buy. So even though we skipped the Incendiary Turret, we'll take this, and then we will buy up some armor and dodge here. Roll another bag is excellent, and a cake I will take as well. I will roll once more, because I'd really like to find just a few more shots at percentage damage increases. Take the Lightning Shiv here. Insanity is normally a very efficient item, but with minus 15% damage, I just don't think we can afford to buy it, so we'll pass on that and just go to the next wave. It doesn't really matter what we're hitting, but we always want to be hitting. So move speed is very important for this build, as is... and attack range is actually better than on most characters, just because we always want to be hitting something. We'll probably buy some lifesteal later on as well, which we will want to be able to make use of, even if we have to retreat from an elite or something. It's also worth noting that we hit the worst possible pattern for this character in terms of boss waves. We have only elites, no hordes. Obviously, bouncing and piercing shots are really good against hordes and pretty bad against elites. And we have them early as well. We have a level 11 elite, so we'll need to have enough defensive stats that we can survive that reliably. Here, I'm going to just pick up the elemental damage. Our damage is actually falling behind a little bit, so I wanted to pick that up. Another leather vest I'm a little concerned by, because I do want more armor and dodge, but our max HP is also quite low. I'll definitely take the recycle machine. I think I will still buy the leather vest, and then we'll roll. I'll even lock another one, and we'll take a defective steroids just for 2 max HP, because I will need to start increasing this pretty quickly. Once my dodge and armor has increased a little bit, max HP also gets even more valuable, so we'll just have to buy that as soon as we can. I'm going to try to play on the opposite side of the map from my turret, because that can just spread fire and do some wave clear for us. Trees make a good target to just be attacking, so that we're constantly bouncing shots from the tree to the enemies we actually want to hit. Right now, I'm looking for maximum HP, and I'm looking for some form of healing, whether that be more regeneration or lifesteal. It doesn't matter that much, but we need some kind of healing before we fight the elite. And a little bit of move speed wouldn't go amiss either. So there's a lot of things that we need at this stage, but our wave clear is good, and that goes a long way. Our economy is decent with double bag and reasonable luck. Not amazing, but decent. Insanity, when it's cheap like this, I'm tempted. I think I will pick it up, because one way we could just instantly fix our economy is if I found a hunting trophy. And we will take the move speed there. I'll take 3 armor. It's less valuable than HP would be, but it's still pretty good to find just because it is a level 3 upgrade. And then we'll take whetstone and we'll take leather vest. I'm not going to take wisdom, because reducing our percentage damage even more is bad. Even though this is a net increase to your percentage damage, you want to kill elites quickly, so wisdom doesn't help with that. And this build won't try to kill elites anyways, so we'd rather just not put ourselves in a position where too many enemies are stacking up on the field. I'll take a baby gecko here. Wheelbarrow, it's early enough that this will still pay off, so we will grab some late harvesting. Handcuffs, unfortunately, we cannot consider because we're at 27 HP. Lumberjack shirt will help a lot just for our damage, and then we will pick up a metal detector and lock a fuel tank. Lucky charm for 30 luck. I'm tempted to lock. I think I will. And then we're just going to have to hope that we find some HP in the shop, because right now we're not in great shape in terms of HP, but we're in much better shape in terms of healing, having found that whetstone and everything. And the move speed that we found in the last level up helped a lot as well. Obviously, we've made the deliberate choice to reduce our HP several times, right? So the fact that I'm saying we need HP but still buying leather vests is something that you might wonder about. But generally, that still increases our survivability because of just how efficient leather vest is. It will just increase it a lot more once we can bring our HP back up to a more reasonable level. I am going to roll fairly hard for health in this next shop, though. Let's roll here, and I'm going to roll again. Alright, well, 12 max HP. I mean, that's why we invested in some luck, so we are now in much better shape. And then I could take elemental damage, but I think I am going to roll one more time, and we'll just find stats that we need. Percentage damage is way better here. The fertilizer I'll take still, even though it's quite late, I think it is still pretty good. We'll buy the fuel tank, we'll buy the lucky charm, and I will roll again. And then I am going to take Terrified Onion. It does decrease my luck, but movement speed will help a lot to try to survive this elite, and of course we can lock this Lightning Shiv. Improved tools, I don't think we need. This turret is... our attack speed isn't that important to this build, we just need to light things on fire. And the turret doesn't need to shoot that fast, because if it's just shooting... its actual attack doesn't do that much damage. If it's shooting faster, it's just hitting an enemy that's already on fire and basically dead already more frequently, which we don't care about at all. So we'll attack the elite a little bit because that's the easiest way to bounce elemental shots to the rest of the map. But that isn't something that we are going to focus on. Like, we're not going to try to kill the elite. No, I walked right into that. You can see how little damage we're taking from the elite every time I walk into the elite's attacks, which is frequently, because I've invested so heavily in armor from leather vests. So that's why that was worth doing, even though it reduced our max HP. Our movement speed is unfortunate, because against this elite, you really want to have the movement speed, an amount of movement speed that lets you easily clear the distance of the rings that it fires at you. So I'm trying to hunt down healing from boxes and stuff. But with only 7% movement speed, it was fairly difficult to dodge out of those rings effectively. If you have like 20% movement speed, you can just walk in a straight line and you'll always not get hit by the rings. But with 7%, you have to actually stop and start a lot, which is why I kept getting hit there. But because we have 11 armor at this stage already, which is a lot of armor, we were able to survive it. And the lifesteal regeneration helped a lot as well. Take the Cyclops Worm here, and then I'm going to re-roll this. I think we need just more other stats at this point. We'll take movement speed. I'm hoping to find some dodge as well. That's one of the best ways to increase our survivability. I could buy the mushroom, get our regeneration higher, but again, I think we're going to prefer lifesteal, so we'll roll here. Weird food I'll still take, though. Head injury we'll definitely take. Now our percent damage has recovered a little bit. Coupon I'll take. If this was a normal build, I would be very happy to see the flamethrower, a normal mage build. Mages, of course, this is the #1 weapon for them, because spreading fire is very important. You can see how much damage it does as well, but this is a lightning shiv build, so we're going to stick with the shivs, because it's a random weapon build. And we'll take the bat as well, because 6% lifesteal gets us closer to our goal of like 10 to 15. With bouncing shots like this, 10 on weapons that bounce at range, like shurikens or slingshots, works pretty well. You can get away with 10 lifesteal on those kinds of builds. With the lightning shivs, which do bounce, but you have to be in melee range with something, I like to have more like 15 lifesteal. It just makes it a little bit more reliable to heal back up. And of course, leveling the lightning shivs is very important, because more bounces means a lot more enemies hit per attack, which not only does more damage, but also makes your healing more reliable off the lifesteal. A second wheelbarrow, yeah, this will pay for itself pretty quickly, so we'll grab that as well. We'll take injection here for sure, and then I'll take 3% lifesteal over 8% damage. I think survivability is still where we're at in terms of what we want. Power generator is great. Any speed we buy will increase our damage, and we will continue to buy speed. We'll take the weird food. I'm not going to buy butterfly because we don't want to decrease our elemental damage. We will take metal and metal plate. And then I'm going to pass on Alien Tongue. I think Baby Gecko is worth buying on this character, because we're scattering materials all over. I don't think Alien Tongue is worth buying, really. So, as you can see, we now do need to increase our elemental damage a little bit. I don't like that enemies are getting lit on fire and not dying. We really want to have only have them need to get hit once by something that sets them on fire. I will also say we haven't seen a second Scared Sausage or a second Snake, which is extremely unlikely, and obviously those are very important items for the Mage, so that is a little unfortunate. The fact that we have a weapon that scales with elemental damage is making that less devastating than it would be if I'd random like shotguns or something and we'd never seen more elemental damage or more fire spreading. I would probably have had to roll for it much more aggressively. Didn't see that loot alien until the end, so I wasn't able to kill it. Not that we can easily focus down specific enemies anyways. We'll take the Broken Mouth here. I guess I'll take the level 4 crit chance. That can help us heal. I will take the Charcoal for more elemental damage, but pass on the rest of this. Fairy is great. This solves all of our healing issues, just all by itself. This is why Fairy is such an insane item. Strange Book looks good, but unfortunately the Mage cannot get any engineering. So it would be not terrible to buy it, especially because I am going to buy this Pocket Factory, but Strange Book doesn't work for the Mage. Pocket Factory is nice here, though, because it will just spread fire. You might be thinking, dang, if only we'd taken the improved tools to go with the Pocket Factory. But again, we don't care about how fast these are attacking. We just want them attacking in places on the map that we ourselves are not hitting. So the Pocket Factory can help spread the fire out, rather than specifically the turrets actually hitting stuff frequently mattering at all. Our own attack speed with our actual weapons matters more because it's important for our lifesteal, but the turret's attack speed doesn't matter, so skipping on improved tools, because it's a very inefficient item when you spend that much on just 10% attack speed, is correct here. Of course, these turrets would be better, again, if we'd found more Scared Sausages, but I think that it's worth investing in the Pocket Factory. It will help with wave clear quite a bit. And then later on, we might still find more snakes or Scared Sausages to make it better as well. Now taking a lot of damage, but we have decent enough lifesteal now that I can reliably heal back up alongside the tentacles that we have and the critical hit chance that we've built, so our healing has come together a lot better, and of course we have Fairy. 3% crit chance for -1 HP, I think we'll recycle that. I'm going to roll here and take 3 elemental damage, that's great. More elemental damage, awesome. In fact, this is a pretty nice shop for us. We get elemental damage, we get the Clover, which does cost me lifesteal, but luck and dodge are really nice here, and the upgraded Shiv. Roll again. I will buy the Terrified Onion here because it gives us percentage damage as well off of our power generator. Roll one more time. Campfire cost me 2% damage, but is worth 2 regeneration and 2 elemental damage. I'll probably buy it. I will also buy the Beanie here. Any elemental damage, I think, is pretty good. I guess Mushroom is also worth 4 regen because we have a Fairy and we don't yet have a Mushroom, so it's probably worth locking that, just because Fairy gives us extra regen off of unique items. This is a good elite for us, because it's a summoner. So we're going to have a lot of enemies on the field. Or wait, is this a summoner? I always mix this one up and the other one. Yeah, it is. It is the summoner. But yeah, because it's a summoner and we can't kill it anyways, we just get to farm the summons. This would be really nice if we had a hunting trophy, because that would be a lot of materials dropped from Summoner. We're taking a lot of hits here, but we've got good regen and good lifesteal, so that's okay. As long as I stay near the consumable drops, we're fine. I do want to make my way through the middle of the map here to pick up as many materials as I can before the end of the wave, and we made 900. We'll recycle the wings. We don't want to reduce our elemental damage. Handcuffs, I'm still going to recycle. 56 max HP is still too low for me to be comfortable, and while 8 elemental damage is incredibly valuable, obviously, I think we're more focused on our defensive stats with this build. I do want a little more attack speed, so a level 3 attack speed upgrade is great. We'll combine here and buy another Shiv. Level 3 Shivs bounce 3 times, so that's just even more bounces, of course. Alloy gives me elemental damage and crit chance at the cost of dodge, but I don't think that this is worth it. I think we do want to start building dodge now, so I'm going to pass on the alloy. Blood Leech, I guess we are using both kinds of regeneration, but I think our healing is fine, actually, so I'm going to roll past that. I will take Weird Ghost. We need maximum HP, and we have plenty of regeneration. We're not in any danger of dying here. Helmet is good. Pumpkin is good, because we have the Sharp Bullet, reducing our piercing damage. Lure, I will buy. Toxic Sludge, I'll buy. Roll again. Lightning Shiv, I will buy. Small Magazine is always interesting for these kinds of builds, because sometimes attack speed is worth it. It's not on this build, but sometimes attack speed is worth it even on non-ranged characters. And then we'll just buy another helmet. The helmet is decreasing our range, but the armor is increasing our survivability, which is what matters for this build. As you can see, we're already up to 20 HP, so the Weird Ghost is safe. I say this fairly frequently, but one of the most common mistakes I think people make in Brotato is not aggressively enough buying items like Weird Ghost or Sad Tomato, stuff like that. They look like they're going to be bad for you or dangerous to buy, but most of the time, if your character has been built reasonably well, they won't be. You can buy them even on into the very late game. The only time I'd really avoid buying Weird Ghost, which is a very efficient way to buy HP, which is a stat most characters can use, is if you're on an elite wave. Although even then it can be fine depending on your regeneration. Or, obviously, if you have Blood Donation or Bloody Hand, then you should think twice. But if you do have Blood Donation or Bloody Hand, alongside Weird Ghost, you only need 10 regeneration before, or 11 regeneration, before you heal faster than the first damage tick comes in, so you can safely buy it alongside Blood Donation pretty regularly if your HP regeneration is high enough. Still going to recycle the alloy here. I think we would rather have dodge than these damage stats, but we will take the warrior helmet. We'll recycle here. We will buy this, I guess. I would like the speed. And then 9 max HP is a pretty big deal. Now we're at a much more reasonable HP level. Game really wants to give me alloys. Tractor, I think we're going to pass on here. We are unlikely to get another level out of it, and we really want more damage stats and survivability stats at this point. So we'll take the fuel tank, of course. Poisonous tonic, I will take as well, and then we'll roll. Now I could buy the handcuffs, now that the game has offered me these 20 times, but that is a lot of damage, and 74 HP is fine. Oh, of course I should have bought the medal before the handcuffs, because I would have 77 HP, and I was going to buy the medal anyways, but obviously that was an error. We'll buy the baby elephant as well. That can just help damage down some more things, and then we'll buy the tree, lock the snake, and the toxic sludge. Obviously an ordering mistake there with the handcuffs and the metal. Not a big deal at the end of the day, but definitely incorrect. Another summoner elite is pretty nice for us, honestly. The downside is our damage is high enough that we can't reliably bounce shots off of things onto the elite anymore. I want to be hitting the elite with a lot of bouncing shots, but everything we're targeting keeps dying. Also, our shots are not bouncing to the elite. Like, what? Look at this. They're just not targeting it. Alright, now that we're a little closer to it, we're hitting it more regularly, but I think we got extremely unlucky with where our bounces were going, and that has cost me the elite kill. Yeah, if we'd gotten a little bit luckier with bounces, we would definitely have killed the elite. As it was, we were never in any danger of dying, so it's fine, but killing the elite would have been more fun. Peaceful Bee, incredible for the mage, of course. This is one of the best items out there. Even in the late game, it's just 4% dodge for no penalty. Tyler's good. It's just helpful to spread fire. And then take move speed. I could also just take 3% dodge. Dodge is the best way to stay alive for this character now. I could also roll and see if we can get a higher level upgrade, which I think we can if I roll a little bit. Alright, didn't get there, but I think it was still worth doing that. Take the snake and the toxic sludge and the campfire, and then roll again. Percent damage, still very good for this character, so we'll buy the missile, but I guess I'll buy the Shiv first. And actually, I'm not going to buy the missile. No, I will. I wouldn't if our percent damage wasn't still very low, but at 36%, I think it's worth it. Missile is a very inefficient item, so you should only buy it if you have a real need for percentage damage, because lowering your attack speed is a huge penalty. Those two stats multiply one another, right? So buying an item that increases one and reduces the other is often counterproductive, because each of those stats gets more valuable the higher the other of those stats is. On this character, a lot of our damage comes from fire, so we don't care as much. One thing I kind of wonder about this character is if you actually want to deliberately avoid buying Lumberjack Shirt. It does make killing trees much faster, but trees can often be useful because you can just stand there hitting them, and that gives you something to bounce shots off of. One challenge we're having is that we don't have enemies that we can reliably attack to trigger our lightning bounces, because they keep dying. Whereas trees with their very high health might not have that problem. Let me buy 6% dodge here. If we get to dodge cap, that will be very useful. Even just getting slightly closer to dodge cap is very nice for this character, and we're at 30%, so that's a lot of additional dodge. We'll buy the duct tape here just for 1 armor. That's a lot of additional survivability, and oop, I almost hit recycle there. In fact, I think I clicked on it and the game didn't register it, so we almost just lost a Shiv to a misclick, but I got lucky. Another weird food, I think I'll pass on that. We've got 5 consumable heal already, so we don't really need more. And then rerolls are getting super expensive, so we'll just go to wave 19. As it happens, actually, buying the metal, we've reduced our HP enough that the mistake with the metal and the handcuffs is not currently hurting me, because we have lower than our capped HP anyways. Though it will again before the end, and obviously that was just a clear ordering mistake, not something that you want to do. But for the most part, it shouldn't be a big deal. We'll take Tentacle here. We will still take Clover here. Additional dodge is great. I'll just take the elemental damage. That can help out a lot. I'll take the armor. I'll roll. I'm going to buy another Shiv and roll. Buying the injection could help out with our damage, so I guess I'll do that. I'll pass on the missile, I think, though. We'll buy another Clover. I'm really, like I said, just looking for dodge at this point, because that's the thing that increases our survivability the most. Let's roll past this, and then there's nothing that we can buy really that helps us here. I guess the insanity could help a little bit, so I'll buy that. And I'll buy the bag just because it's fun to have 3 bags, even though that's obviously a strict downside for this character. It just decreases our damage by 1. But, you know, finding 3 bags has become my signature, and it's the easiest way to win at Brotato, is if you can manage to reliably find 3 bags. So let's buy the 3rd one just to make sure they keep coming. I figure if we ever turn down a bag, the game will know and stop giving them to me, so it's important to show it we appreciate it. So the downside of, one downside of this character on the bosses, often, is that there's not that many enemies on the field this wave. So if you're relying on lifesteal for your healing, you often will not be able to heal as reliably. Luckily for this version of the character, since we found Fairy, since we have such high consumable healing, we're not very reliant on our lifesteal. So we can tank through damage that we might take from the bosses, but for many Lightning Shiv characters, that could be an issue. Or just lifesteal-based characters in general. Just trying to focus on dodging all the boss attacks. Not that we really need to, we can heal through them, but we're not killing the bosses, so the thing that I want to do with this fight is just focus on dodging more often. Of course, I say that and immediately get hit. I usually don't worry too much about specifically dodging every boss attack, because you're just trying to kill them as fast as possible on most builds, but on builds that are fire-based or elemental damage-based and aren't going to kill them, then it can be fun to try to spend some time dodging. Alright, well that was a pretty clean win. We ended with decent defensive stats. Mostly 23 armor was a pretty huge deal for this character, and we made quite a lot of money over the course of the run due to having 3 bags, which I guess were worth 690. They were worth 555 by the by wave 20, but the third bag gave me some extra money as we picked it all up at the end. Only found 1 scared sausage the entire run, which is super unlikely unless I happen to skip one, which I suppose is always possible. And then 4 leather vests is very efficient survivability, so that's part of what made it easy for us to live through the first elite. The real challenge for this wave, for this run, of course, was surviving the first elite, which we were able to do because we had such high armor, so incoming damage wasn't that big a deal. Other than that, the Fairy was obviously great. Fairy's just a game-winning item on almost every character, because it just solves all your regeneration problems. Recycling Machine paid for itself, not actually as effectively as I'd have expected, given how early we got it, but still was worth buying, still just a great item. And overall, just a very clean Mage run with Lightning Shivs. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and like it, because that helps me out a ton with the algorithm. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy game content. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.